Today's the day. So there's 3 things I want to get done in this video. First of all, we're going to go up and start farming up Vanir armor because it's going to be so much better than the hyena armor that I'm wearing now. Then we're going to go for one of these Scourge Stone pieces, and lastly, we're going to go for one of the other bosses that we need in order to beat the game. Now, before I do that, I'm stopping over at Rasma's Quarter because why not? You don't really need to. This is more of an optional flavor thing to do if you want some of the story, but I have the key and I figured why not? Once I was done with that, I headed over into the deep part of the city where all of the plunderers are. I did it mostly to grind up some levels with my follower because now we're actually able to take them on competently without them completely massacring us. That was always something I was worried about when I was first starting off this challenge. After that, we head pretty much directly north because there is an open pass that leads into the north. Now, it leads over to the western area where the Cimmerians are. We just want to avoid that area because they hit really hard. Like, they're the equivalent of star metal tier, and I'm still in iron or steel. I do have to kill a few wolves on the way because they're kind of annoying. I could have avoided them if I wanted to, but it's extra levels, and I do desperately need them. Now, I head all the way to the watchtowers because I think they're going to be the first Vanir areas that we find, and this area in particular has chests that I could loot. I want to try to get as much gear as I can before direct combat, so I climb one of the watchtowers because each of the watchtowers has anywhere from 1 to 2 chests atop of it. Now, most of the time, it's going to have pretty much just decor items. I think that had to have been a change at some point, because I don't remember finding nearly as many decor items as I am in this playthrough. After that, I head all the way down. I try my luck, and I do manage to kill the first few that aggroed to me, and they drop some Vanir gear. Now, it's not quite what I'm going for, but it's better than nothing. They also drop the better aloe potions, which is going to help me greatly, especially when I start taking on stronger areas. Anything extra that I loot, I'm going to be giving it to my follower. I also grab a few extra pieces just in case, and I bring them to my other followers back home, but really, I'm mostly here for myself and at least just enough armor or weapons for one follower. This is also where I'm going to be finding hardened steel weapons, which is going to be a massive improvement over the steel weapon that I have right now. Up at the top of the second tower is where I find a perfected hardened steel greatsword. Massive improvement over what I have currently. As of right now, I only have a few pieces of medium gear that's on right now, so I'm going to have to stick around and pretty much farm as much as I can. Luckily, I am able to take on the Nordheimers at least 1 at a time or 2 at a time with my follower. I do have to watch out because if I pull too many, they can still overwhelm me. I'm trying to focus on the tier 3 NPCs because they seem to have the best chance at dropping the heavy gear, which is what I'm looking for. I've been here now for 2 in-game days, but this guy right here, this archer, once I take him out and I see what he drops 3 pieces of heavy gear. He drops the pants, the gloves, and the helmet. Wow, that is a massive haul. After situating myself and my follower with some of the armor that we managed to scrap together, it was getting a little bit boring farming the 3 towers over and over again, so we headed to the cleft that surrounds New Asgarth. I actually don't know what this particular area is called. I think it's just part of the Highlands, but you know, it's like that horseshoe cleft kind of like encircling the valley where New Asgarth is. There are several homes and outposts along here, as well as a couple of towers, so it's going to be perfect for just basically circling around and farming them 1 at a time to get as much more as I can, because as I make a complete lap, the first one pretty much would have respawned by that point. But I don't make a full lap. Instead, I head to the northeastern end where Leon's watch is. Now, Leon, I remember I used to tame him all of the time. He's an excellent follower. I mean, he's not the best, but he was always my favorite to tame. Sorry, man, I gotta do this to you. In Leon's watch, I also find a cage that has a follower. While I did rescue them, I wasn't able to bring them with me at the time, so I left them just outside of the camp there, and I was gonna come back for them later on. This is though when I descended from Leon's watch and I encountered a corrupted wolf. I did not expect it to be there, and it kind of surprised me, and it hit like an absolute truck. I tried kiting it around to see if it would aggro my follower while I attacked it from behind, but the damage was just overwhelming and it took me out. That follower that I had left just outside Leon's watch, I went and I grabbed her, which for whatever reason, I've noticed in this playthrough, when I rescue a new follower, they're T-pose until I can reload. Anyway, I brought them with me to come finish off the wolf. I rescued my follower, and I headed back to my base, where I logged off for the night, in real life that is. Now, this is the next day that I'm playing, and I finally installed not only Fashionist, but I also installed Better Thralls. Fashionist is a transmog system, so I'm able to bring back the hood, because I was kind of getting tired of the Vanir helmet. I really do not like how it looks. So I was able to put the black hood, which is kind of becoming my favorite item on this character, and I transmogged it over the helmet. I also have Better Thralls, which if you don't know what that is, it basically allows you to bring with you more than one at a time. Now, for the sake of not wanting to cheat on this playthrough, the only reason I have this mod is for if I find a follower that's in a cage and I go to rescue them, I can have them follow me to a safe area and I can put them down. That way I don't have to pick them up, drop them, pick them up, drop them, because that was getting really annoying. So sometimes I might bring multiple with me, but it's going to be primarily just for grinding, if anything. If I go to do something that actually is part of the progression, I will only bring one follower with me. On that note, you may have noticed that I'm grinding up levels with a brand new follower. This is Athena. She is the one that I rescued in Leon's watch. She has way better stats than the one I had earlier with me. That's why I'm helping to level her up by farming lions, rhinos, and elephants out in the savannah. But not only that, the savannah hosts a pathway that leads up into the north. We're going to be heading up close to where that corrupted wolf was, but, not fight it again because that was terrible. But just outside of its range, there was a pillar to the aqueduct. Next to that pillar is an NPC that is almost always spawned there. It is a tier 4 archer. The reason why I'm going after this is because, well, first of all, let me explain something. There is a hidden area in the game called Harumen's Altar, and if you sacrificed hearts, basically hearts of the hero or hearts of Nordheimer, which you can only get from tier 4 enemies, then you could possibly get a gorilla pet or a yeti pet. Now, this was changed recently. I did not know that as of this point, so I farmed up the Huntress and Leon about 2 times each. Actually, it was multiple times. I got 2 hearts each from them, so I have a total of 4 hearts of Nordheimer. And later, I plan on going to sacrifice them, only to find out that the altar is no longer present. So I will tell you up front, I do know it's not there anymore, but I didn't know that at the time, so I ground them up. Now then, after fighting the Huntress and Leon several times, I headed up above the aqueduct area, up into the dam where the lake is, for 2 reasons. One, it's a little bit nostalgic. Up in this area, like right where the grass turns into the snow along the lake there, I used to have a tribal village in my roleplay server that I used to play on, and that's actually where this character Ursius started, so it's very nostalgic for me. Again, if I have any screenshots, I'll try to post them here, but not only that, just outside of where my little roleplay village used to be is the Passage. It is a connection point from the north all the way into the jungle, but there's more to it. Before I get to that, let me just, reminisce a little bit, because this is where the village used to be. My chieftain hut used to be up against this pillar here. It had a massive mammoth skull. I forgot what mod had that mammoth skull decoration piece. It was probably Savage Steel or Savage Steel 2, but the village went out into this little open area right here into the snow. Man, it was amazing. I remember those days. Anyway, this path right here is what leads up into the cave. I have an awesome story about this cave from that same roleplay, but that will be for another day, maybe, if I get to it. we head on into the cave where there's one enemy waiting for us at the door. Once we take it out, we descend down. Now, it is a sheer drop down. You are going to have to climb your way up or down. I remember some servers would actually put the horizontal elevators in order for other players to get across easy. Another server that I used to play on actually had built an entire dwarven domain in this cave. It was actually kind of amazing, and I wish I had screenshots of that, but I don't. But what we're here for is the queen insect at the bottom. I actually don't know what they're called. I think they're called a queen reaper, but she has a piece of the scourge stone that we need in order to progress the game, which is why I'm only bringing one follower with me. And as I slide down, I'm waiting for my follower to catch up to me, but of course, as they're running over to meet with me, they pull the Reaper Queen. Now, she actually went down pretty quick. I expected a longer fight out of it. So, well, I got what I came for. It's time to head now to the second area. Now, this is going to be all the way on the western end of the north. This is the Barrow King. He's gonna have one of the primary pieces I need in order to build the Keystone. Now, I thought this was an instance, like one boss dungeon. It's not actually instance, it's in the world. However, in order to unlock the door to get to him, you do need to offer demon blood. Now, I had gotten this earlier when I was farming the lion that you probably saw in the footage when I was leveling up my follower. So I had that on me until I was able to open the door. Then I got rid of the stack because that was weight I did not need. I pulled a bunch of those skeleton dudes, but I took them out pretty quick. Heading on inside, this is where the Barrow King is, and he can hit pretty hard, but he only has 3,500 health, so you can take him on with basically the armor that I have, which is half Vanir. I still have half Hyena and the hardened steel weapon, and that's going to be pretty much the same composition that my follower has as well. He goes down, and I loot the crown. He's really a forgettable boss. I think if it wasn't for the fact that he drops one of the primary pieces for the Keystone, no one would remember him. He's just kind of boring. But yeah, now it was time to head back home. Of course, I have one more small little thing that happens to me on the way back home. First of all, as I'm climbing this cliff trying to avoid what I can, I find a camp on the other side of this ledge. I thought, oh, this would be fun. I could take them out and see if they drop anything good, especially because one of them seems to be a Sumerian while the other one is a Vanir, and Sumerians are what drop the good gear. Now, as I'm on the cliff trying to use my bow in order to take them out from a distance so I don't have to deal with them on the other side, I kind of get ambushed by the undead as well as the rock nose that my follower had pulled on the way here, which scared me every time. Like, every time I went to go fire, something else would attack me from behind, and it got kind of ridiculous. Eventually, all of them, including what was following me, went down. Once it was safe, I was able to scale the rock side and make it over to the camp to see what they dropped. Of course, one of them did slide down the mountain, so I had to follow down after them. After climbing back up, I saw what was in the chest, a star metal repair hammer. Too bad I can't use it for this challenge. I do take the barrel and the chairs. I figured it'd be some nice decoration for my camp. But anyway, that's gonna be the end of this episode. I made my way back home. I placed the barrel and chairs, which the NPCs do end up utilizing. They actually love it. They go and sit by the barrel and they'll eat some meals. They take naps at the beds that I put down for them. I think they're very appreciative. It makes me happy. I even put down a little bowl there for them. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this episode. The next episode, we're going to be focusing on trying to finish up more of the progressional items as well as gearing. We're going to be going now to the Sumerian lands and facing something much more ferocious, something scarier than Sumerians. Crashes.